The Progressive Era, that stretched from the 1890s to the 1920s, was a pivotal chapter of American history, a time when reformers set out to address deep problems created by rapid industrialization and social change. These reformers, known as progressives, believed government action and grassroots activism could fix issues like political corruption, economic inequality, and the exploitation of vulnerable groups. One influential progressive was George Sumner. He stood out for his dedication to social justice and focused much of his energy on civil rights and educational reform. He was a strong opponent of segregation and believed high-quality public education should be available to all children, regardless of their background. He tirelessly advocated for laws and policies that protected marginalized communities and expanded opportunities for those most in need. He laid the groundwork for later civil rights gains and helped define education as a fundamental right in a democratic society. Jane Addams was another towering figure of the era, as she co-founded the Hull House in Chicago, which was one of the first settlement houses in the United States. The Hull House provided immigrants and the working poor access to education, childcare, healthcare, and vocational training. Addams became a national leader in campaigns for child labor laws, public health, and women's suffrage, showing how local action could spark national reform. W.E.B. Du Bois was a pioneering scholar and activist who co-founded the NAACP and became a leading voice for African American civil rights in the early 20th century. He demanded full political, social, and educational equality for Black Americans and organized protests, wrote powerful books and essays, and challenged both legal segregation and the racist attitudes embedded in American society. His vision and activism inspired generations of future leaders. President Theodore Roosevelt brought the power of the federal government to bear on problems of his day. He was a forceful advocate for breaking up monopolies, regulating his big business, and protecting consumers through legislation like the Pure Food and Drug Act, the Meat Inspection Act. Roosevelt expanded national parks and forests, believing that conservation was an essential responsibility of the government. The collective effort of these leaders and their allies led to monumental changes: the passage of child labor laws, women's right to vote, safer workspaces, protections of consumers, and the expansion of public education. The Progressive Era made American society more just and democratic, and its legacy lives on in many of the rights and protections that we enjoy today.